thank you for joining me today. Today's reading is going to be, are they interested in you? I'm going to take a spread which I saw a long time ago by a lady tarot reader called Snow City Tarot, who's fantastic, and I just like the way that she put the spread out. The cards are new as well, and they are the magnificent Goliath Tarot deck, which I have never found a pack of cards that I could just lick. They are just so fantastic. So anyway, are they interested in you? You've got pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3. So if you choose your pile, we'll get going. Pile number 1, let's go. Madame Lulu's number 1. So, hi Madame Lulu. Right, to start off, you are coming across as the High Priestess. So I have a funny feeling that you are very aware of yourself and you're very aware of what's going on behind the scenes. You can probably pick up this person's feelings yourself and don't really need somebody to tell you. You are probably very spiritual, very perceptive and very intuitive. Can't say that word. They are coming across. This energy is quite mystical and witchy in some way. The both of you, and with Madame Lulu here in the middle, now they are coming across as if they are going through a huge change in their life. And with the Death card, I mean, this card is obviously, you know, sometimes the word change is overdone with the Death card. It's basically as if something is moving in their life and they are learning how to adapt. It possibly could be slightly forced upon them, or it could be basically just some change that they feel as if change. Some part of them is just dying and they are rebuilding anew. If you can see here, you've got the, let me see if you can get the card to you here. You've got the snake spine here, which is a bit, I think it's supposed to be a bit like, you know, the lobster, like under pressure, it changes and its shell basically, does it replace itself? Yeah, falls off and probably redoes like a scabby toenail. So basically, this person at the moment is being forced to move forward in their life, and it could be quite painful for them. They could be rebuilding themselves due to some sort of external pressure or internal pressure that's causing them to grow a bit bigger. You, on the other hand, are coming across as this beautiful High Priestess card here. It's almost as if you're almost serene in your awareness. This person may be under a lot more pressure. Your person may be feeling the pain of change when you are just basically aware of change, but it's as if it flows through you. As if you've fought your battles and you've got some sort of mature knowing or knowledge that you basically impart on your life that helps you through it. You could be very spiritual, just very awake and very aware. And this person may be, but the person you ask about may be very aware or awake, but they've had it forced upon them if they are. Okay, right, let's go into... So are they interested into you? So I'm going to go into basically your last meeting or your first meeting, and it'll be the one that comes into your mind. Now their body language is coming across as being very fluid, as in they may be somebody who walked really well, but almost as if they flow. So their body language is, you can always get the feeling of your meetings or the last time you saw them or the time that the time that you're thinking about now, they could have somehow appeared, and you know, I'm going to say your heart was all a flutter, but I've got a funny feeling that you're a little bit cooler than that. You probably had eyes around the room, were waiting to see if they were going to turn up, if you know them, or if you hadn't, but you were very aware of their presence, and they would have slipped in to wherever you were or just slipped past you, and you would have been very aware. You would have sensed where they were when they were almost as fluid as you, if that makes sense. They could have just basically just, I'm getting the impression that, you know, say if you're at a a pub, or you're in a situation where there's somebody you know is going to turn up, and then you're waiting and you're aware and you've got your eye at the corner of the room or the door or whatever, and then they appear, but they almost slip in without you knowing. That's the type of body language I'm picking up from this person. Fluid, soft on their feet. The type of person that places things down slowly and softly. There's a gentleness about it, but it's almost as if it's an illusion. This person must come into a room and it's almost as if they just quietly slip in. But there's almost a bit of fantasy about this person. The way they move, the way that they attract people. You know, some people are just so attractive just by the way they walk. You see a picture of them, doesn't really get you, but once their presence and the way that they move can be really attractive. And I have a general feeling this person attracts people by the way, just their presence. Right, the eye contact is totally different. This person's eye contact with you would have been very intense. But it's not intense as in there's like a sexual tension. I haven't got this so far, just from the bits I've looked at. But it's almost as if they're very down to earth and very in the moment. And when this person's looking at you, they will be able to hold your eye contact. There's almost as if there's a confidence, inner confidence, like an earthy inner confidence, where somebody needs to get a job done, they're doing their job and they're looking straight at you. Now you might be, because if you're very sensitive, you might have found that more unnerving than they did, because that's just the way they act. You would be trying to, I'm guessing in these situations when you're together, you'll be trying to pick up clues on how they're thinking, how they're feeling, which can be quite exhausting. Well, they are very much in the moment, they are very grounded, and they're very direct. And their gaze can almost as if it's looking through you. Quite a strong personality from this other person. Right, the sexual tension. Now this is strange because this person is coming across as the sexual tension between you is almost as if it's a caring but very clear. I don't get the general feeling that this person hides much. Sexy mover, sensual person, but direct with their words and with their gaze. I'm thinking words here, but I've got another one for that, so we'll probably add on to that. But sexually, the feelings between you are clear and open, and I don't think this person's a game player. It's almost as if they feel a love towards you, and it's almost like a protective, caring feeling. There's like the clear sky, you've got the Queen of Cups, which is open and loving and caring and likes to nurture. So the tension between you is quite open and just an attraction. And I don't know if that makes sense to you. From the cards I've got at the moment of this person that you're looking at, when they're attracted to you, and I just said I don't think they're a game player. I think this person's very direct. And they have loving feeling towards you, but I've got a funny feeling it doesn't actually become sexual or sex unless they're very close to having sex. Does that make sense? Where you, on the other hand, have probably had sex with them in your head before you've even met them, because you've probably got more imagination and more awareness, and you're far more subtle in your approach. That might have attracted you to this person here. You've got the Seven of Cups. I wonder whether you're attracted to the way that they come across physically, the way that they move. And I know this is both supposed to be, are they interested in you? But I'm going to come to that in a minute. I've just picked up that you may be interested into them because they have an almost dreamlike presence, and the way they move may be quite sensual. But when you get to talk to this person, they're very direct, and their eye contact is direct. But there's also, I feel there's a loving, open feeling between you, which is slightly incongruent to the way that they're coming across. They're coming across as intense and having probably, or being in the middle of quite an intense situation, which may not be to do with you. Okay. Physically, This is your card for physical contact. Now, this is like a seal that has, it's dark and it's swum out into the sea and it's got light poked into its eyeballs to basically find its way back. So this is a seal almost as if there is a physical tension between you. This seal's gone out, it's trying to get its way back. There could be a feeling of being slightly out of your depth. With this person, and almost as if the physical contact is not there because there's a tension and it's just somewhere you just can't go. There's like an inner tension as if you're not really allowed to touch each other. It wouldn't be correct, it wouldn't be right. There's like a tension here and there's like a lost coldness and you're trying to find your way back. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's almost as if they don't feel it's appropriate to touch you because of an inner tension. It's just not right. This is what I'm getting. This makes sense. It's as if you've distanced yourself from this person, waiting to see whether, to pick up your clues, whether they like you, and you're just sort of holding your position, making sure there's like a tension there that you don't come too close to the person, and they, from these cards here, although the feelings are there and there's like a warmth there, they don't think it's appropriate to touch you. That's what I've got so far. Do they treat others differently? Now, funny that this card here, do they treat others differently? You've got the Temperance card, and their Temperance card in this pack is represented by the koi fish, and it's almost similar to this Seven of Cups feeling, which is their body language. So do they treat other people differently? There's almost like a Pisces feeling with this, as if they slip in and out of situations and treat everybody the same. There's a fluid feel to both of these. Their body language and the way that they are with everybody is almost as if it's, when you think of Pisces, it's gentle and it's opened and it's accepting and it's loving. So that's how I think they are coming across. But with you tend to be picking up more intensity with the way that they look at you. And that's where the tension is coming, because the way that they look at you, to me, almost overpowers the rest of the other cards. So I wonder whether this person's movements have attracted you, but it's the penetrating stare that has almost taken your breath away. I will sum it up as I go along, what they think of you, but I've just got to walk my way through the cards first. Okay, this is interesting. The conversation between you two has coming up as the Page of Pentacles, and you've got the fox here, and the fox has got a mask on. So this person is very aware of what's going on between you, and they feel the sort of attraction, but it's almost as if they've got a game plan. Your person is coming across, and I know I've said Pisces, but I wonder, to me, it's almost as if they have a Pisces rising, and they walk smoothly, they mingle smoothly, but there's an intensity inside this person that's coming across, and you're picking it up. This person is practical. He or she knows where they want to go, and they're making a game plan. And that conversation, it might be almost slightly, I'm not saying controlled, but they know where they want to go with you. And if you think back to your conversation, you can pick out bits where you know what they want from you. They could have dropped bits into the conversation that let you know where they're interested. That's how you will know from the stare and from things they've dropped, whether they want to see you again or whether they're attracted to you. So you probably know the answer to that through that, because this person doesn't leave things to chance. They will organise themselves so they can manoeuvre themselves in almost it's not a nasty way, but it's almost like an innocent way. It's the way they would have thought when they were young. This is where I want to go. These are the steps I need to take. And they were thinking that when they were talking to you. Are they nervous around you? No. No, they're not nervous around you. I have a feeling that your last get together, or the one that is most prominent in your mind when you are wondering whether they're attracted to you, was, I think that this person's doing something in life in general, walking into a meeting, You've seen them walking around school or your work, or the street or anywhere. And I don't get the feeling that there's been a huge amount of contact. Now, this person is just carrying on their everyday situation, looking at you and wondering, but is not quite aware yet of what's going on between you two. I'm going to go over the cards at the end to sum this up a little bit. Okay, this is really interesting. So are they interested in you? And you here have got the Cobra card. So are they interested in you? And this Cobra is real. And if you can see the back of here, there's like a mongoose family. This person is not in the middle of anything yet. They're rearing themselves up. Just as I've said here with this sort of planning one here, this person is aware now of what's going on, but only just. I think they're far less aware than you are, as if you could have been attracted to them first, and now they are basically, I'm trying to make this sound sordid, but they're rearing themselves up, but almost they feel as if there's a fight on, because you've got the animals here, as if it's going to be a challenge to get to you. But this person tends to meet it as if they like a challenge. Let me put these cards down and go through the cards so far. I think, this is what I'm thinking, because your advice is the Sacred Heart, which is like open heart and thankfulness. This is what I've picked up from your pile. I've walked through it bit by bit. Now, this person is somebody who appears outwardly differently than they are inwardly. They are somebody who's quite controlled and quite direct, but can also be very loving. They are very aware of how they want to get to you, and they have a plan. So don't be fooled by this sort of wistful beauty that they're sort of swishing around in. And I've got a feeling they haven't really been interested in you in the past. They may not have, your first sort of get together, they might not have been aware of things that were going on as you were, almost as if they've been through something, that they're not quite in the headspace to be thinking of relationships. Now, this person is now aware of you, and it's almost as if they are getting ready to make some contact with you, but it's as if it's going to be, they're working their way up to it. They're puffing. These two cards here, they're puffing themselves up. They have a plan, but they almost feel as if they have to get through other people to get to you. And the end card here is advice on whether to make a move to this person. And your advice is open your heart. Be open to this person and just be grateful for the fact that they're in your life at the moment. And then that's how you're going to get things moving. There's almost an inner, because of your inner awareness here, because of your High Priestess representing you, and then you've got the Two of Cups here, the Two of Swords for physical contact. I have a feeling that because you are quite psychic, or definitely, I can't say this word, intuitive. That's just so hard for me. You can almost get yourself stuck in a rut where your perceptions are overwhelming your ability to be in the now. It's almost as if you've picked up nuances from this person. Their movements, the way they come across, their stare may have thrown you, the way that they look at you may have thrown you, and it's almost as if you could, it's almost as if you can freeze a bit. This person, I don't think is as sensitive as you. Sorry. They're more earthy, they're more grounded. You're more gentle-natured. This person can be loving, but definitely more direct. I have a feeling this person is planning, has just become aware of you, and is sort of moving towards you, but it's almost as if he has to fight to get to you. And I don't really know what that means. It could be just generally he has to struggle to get to you, or it could be he has to get through other people to get to you. And your advice, if you want this person in your life, then you need to basically welcome them in and just relax any defences that you may have, or basically what you have thought the relationship is, rather than what is actually in front of you, in a good way. because you don't want to lose the fact that you're very aware of how things are moving, because that is a gift. So, in answer to your question, in answer to my question, are they interested in you? Yes, they're interested in you, but I feel as if it's only just happened. It speaks to me of a male energy, of somebody who the females tend to put their images on this person, as in all boys are interested in relationships, or this sort of feeling. And I know from talking to to men that a lot of the time that they're not aware of what's going on. This person is probably very grounded. They could be Virgo, they could have a lot of Capricorn or Taurus in them. I feel that quite strongly, and so they're not aware of females' attention, and they're just becoming aware of their attraction to you, and now they're trying to sort of get some sort of plan together. There's always been a feeling of attraction and love, but in a general sense. I really like that person. We get on well. They're really attractive. It's this attraction or the interest in you is more to do with them. I'm trying to say that you sometimes get men and women who are not very subtle and not very aware of the nuances and interaction with people. I think this is that type of person. But they are now aware, and they are ready to move towards you, although they feel it's a struggle. So you just need to open your heart. Okay, pile number 1. I hope that rings in some sense. Rings true, not bum in some sense. I just dropped my card. And good luck with your Cobra. Thank you for watching. Hi, pile number 2. I hope you don't mind. I've got your cards out already, just so I could have a good look at them before we start. I haven't looked at them for long, but just to say, this pile is so different from the other pile. The other pile was almost like the usual feel of people who have just met, and there's attraction there, and it's been built on. Now your pile, and I haven't looked at it for probably about 2 minutes, but I'm just going to say at the beginning, and this might not ring true, I'm going to go through the cards with you one by one and see what does ring true, and it might change as I go along. But I'm picking up that, is this person interested in you? And I wonder whether you've already had some sort of sexual encounter. So there's been some sort of intimate relationship already, which I haven't picked up in the other pack. And I wasn't really expecting to pick up, to be honest. I was sort of expecting as if they're you're almost apart and wondering, but I don't know. I don't really think that much before I start. Now, I'm just generally picking up from you that there's a physical contact. Or what I'm trying to say is, you've got the Sun card. I'm going to start on this because then it will all roll into place, hopefully. For the physical contact card, you've got the Sun, which to me suggests that you've already, everything between you is very out in the open. And if there has been physical contact, you're not hiding it. You're not hiding that there is a need to be physical. There is a need for you both to be physical together. Because that's what I'm picking up so strongly from this part. There's a physical attraction there that's very strong. But I have a feeling, to do with all the other cards, that you may have already slept with this person, or at least had some very close contact with this person. I'm going to go on. If that doesn't ring true, just let me go through the cards with you and see what does ring true, and we'll see how it basically peels out. So you're coming across as a Justice card. So you're coming across to them as a very fair, very attractive and feminine energy. It's almost as if you could be like some, like a, I'm trying to say things without being sexist here, but almost like an ideal feminine figure, as in you are fair, you are gentle, and you are just basically very aware of yourself. There's a balance inside of you. You know, it's almost as if you've had your ups and downs in life, and you know how to maneuver yourself in a way that is quite just and open and just really attractive, in a way that you just know how to handle yourself. It's as if you've seen life going up, life going down, things that feel fair and things that don't feel fair, and you've basically struck the middle ground, and that's where you are and that's where you stay, and people pick that up. It's like I'm trying to think of the word here. Somebody in work is like this. It's like an acceptance of other people, but it's like a gentle acceptance, and that's what they're picking up from you. A feminine energy that's like gently accepting of other people around them. There's a calmness about you and a fairness. But they are coming across as a Queen of Pentacles. So this Queen of Pentacles woman who they're coming across as, so it could very possibly, if you're asking about a woman, if it's male, it's somebody who is in touch with their feminine side, in the way that they are very welcoming, they are very giving and make you feel warm and make you feel as if you're in their family. The type of person that welcomes you and come and sit down or gives you a hug. It's just in touch with that part of them. There's not like the emperor figure here. So both of you have very sort of warm, open personalities. You're coming across as a little bit more gentle than them. They're coming across as a little bit more in charge of themselves and more, I'm going to say motherly, but it could be fatherly, in a way that a father would look after a young child. There's that paternal, I don't mean to be sexist here, I'm just going on basically the way that we have judged in the past, and I definitely don't say it's right. It's just the way that I was probably brought up with my family. I forgot what I was saying there, I was so busy apologising. There's like that paternal protection there, but in a sort of a feminine overlay with them. So a good mixture really of male, what's typically deemed as male, and female energies in this person. You're coming across as more feminine, younger energy, and just kind and aware and open. Right, this is where that all stops. So their body language is dark. I haven't actually read the guidebook for this, but their body language here, I'm just going to look at the picture, is the shadow self. And this person strikes me, if this is a body language card, as somebody who has a penetrating stare and has not or does not come forward to you. Their body language is somebody who stands, is still, is aware of themselves, but there's almost the awareness of the dark bits inside them that they don't want to reveal to you. So they might be slightly holding back, but they will definitely be looking. You will be very aware of this person, possibly even checking out your social media. Definitely you'll be aware of the way they look at you. They may have a penetrating glance, but they may be, this is Pluto to me. This is almost like a Pluto square. It's where the other person, this person feels like they want to feel, yeah, look at this. Check out your charts. If you're into astrology, check out whether you've got any Venus-Pluto contacts, because this person is Pluto. He is there and he or she is just staring and is almost a want to control you because they can see your beauty. You're coming across as Venus, they're coming across as Pluto. If you've got squares or oppositions between you, if you're interested in astrology, check that out, because this will tell you how the energy is put across. If you've got trines, or if you've got sextiles, it will be a positive influence between the pair of you. But if you haven't, this person will almost, if it's negative, which isn't really negative because you still want a bit of tension, a bit of passion, they will want to own you. This person will want to get close to you and they won't want anybody else near you. If it's more free flowing, the same energies could be just basically a need to have you close to them, a need to be with you and be with you only. So they come across differently, but there's still the same energy there. Now this person is brooding and their body language is still, it's not all over the place, it's not joker, it's not jester, it is still silent and watching and wanting. and they see you as the beauty that they want. There's, you know, like a vulnerability about you that they see, and they want to own it. Okay, nice. Eye contact. See, this contradicts this bit here. This person is looking at you and the eye contact is strong, but this here to me suggests that for eye contact there's no eye contact. So this person is doing everything behind the scenes and they're looking at you, but they don't want to be seen. You may have, there's a light coming through here, you may have seen them staring at you, but they would have pretended that they were looking behind you. Yeah, it's got that sort of feel about it, as if their feelings are strong and they're sexual and there's a tension there, and they can feel the darkness that they basically want to, you know, want to almost get closer to you in a way that may not be fair. It may be just basically trying to get rid of everybody else so that they can be one-to-one with you. And I think it's scaring them. I think they're trying to pretend they're not as attracted to you as they are, so you won't be able to notice, they won't want you to notice their eye contact. The fact that they're basically sat in bushes in the dark watching you. Now here, we've got the sexual tension here. Now, is there sexual tension between the pair of you? Now, this, to me, speaks of the opposite. And I don't mean to break your heart there, because I was quite enjoying this. This, to me, speaks of somebody who is not able to take up what's going on between you. They're looking into this like the crystal ball here, as if they want something to happen, but for some reason it's almost as if they know it's not going to happen, or it's out of their reach, or it's just something they just can't take up, or they think circumstances won't let them take it up. See, now if you two have already had sexual contact with each other, and this is coming up for the sexual tension between you, this to me almost speaks like that's been released, if you know what I mean. I don't know if there's any truth in that. This looks to me, if you put a male on that, if it's male or a female, it doesn't really matter. It's almost as if I have a feeling that you have somehow had some sexual contact already. And I know I said that's the beginning. I'm going to go on. Does this person treat you differently from others? Now, this person is the type of person with the Queen of Pentacles here, who is of a mature energy that with other people is very welcoming. They are very kind, they are very giving, and they're very much in charge of the way that they come across to people. They've been through life, similar to you, have been through life and learnt their lessons. They can suss people out very well. They're very astute at sussing out people's personalities, and they will then know what that person wants from them, and they will want to give it. They'll want that people to feel good around them, and they'll know with the Queen of Pentacles here how to make that person feel good, to include them into the circle, and they do that with everybody. You know, if they've made you feel good, it's just that, and just being brutally honest here, is their personality, and they, you know, that's how they define themselves. They just make people feel welcome. Your conversational flow here is coming up as the Hierophant. Now, this to me feels as if, you know, the sexual contact and your physical contact is good, but your conversation is almost as if it's kept. That you might be keeping each other at a distance. It's almost as if there's a conventional conversation going on with you. The one where you're sort of saying what the other person thinks the other one wants to hear, rather than revealing your true selves. There might almost be slight barriers there, as if you don't want to reveal everything quite yet, which wouldn't surprise me as well, because if this person is watching you, if you have had sexual contact with each other, now this person almost gives up a feeling of being very good with everybody else, but there's this as if they're watching you now, and there's a slight obsessive quality about them where they're watching, but they don't want to know that you're watching them. Are they nervous around you? No. This person's got a plan. This person is working towards you. They don't feel nervous. You know, you've got here the beaver building is down, and this person, if they want to get back to you, which I'm feeling is very possible, hold on, they are working towards, there's not a nervousness. This person is basically, he can see the beginning of the relationship, and he can see how it's going to end up in the future, and this person has got a plan of how he's going to get there, or she's going to get there, or carry on the relationship. Now, are they interested in you? See, this here is, this came up in the last spread, and it's the seal that obviously that's gone out in the dark into the sea, and is almost like the tension of trying to get back and the fear of trying to get back in the cold water, and it's dark. Now, this person has a tension and almost a fear of moving forward with you. I don't know why. The advice for you is to basically do nothing, to stay still and do nothing. So what I'm picking up from this, now I've got all the cards out, is I've got a feeling that if there hasn't been a sexual encounter, see, I can't see past that at all. Okay, right, let's just pretend there has, I'm just going to read this from, if there's a couple of people watching from different people's perspective. If there hasn't been, if you haven't slept together or had some, you know, physical contact with each other, no, let me rephrase that. If you haven't had sex, there has been, I think myself, that there has been some physical contact that has set this person going. You know, it could have even be something more subtle, because I'm trying to read this from different people's perspectives. I think a huge load of you would have slept together already, but or it could very possibly, there's just been some sort of like, you know, it could be something subtle like just touching each other's hands or brushing past each other, but it's made a huge impact because it makes a huge impact on this pile. So the physical contact is the bit that may have set this person going. And what they're doing now is they are generally very giving, very open, very mature, very much in control of themselves. They're very loving to everybody else, but this person is almost a desire to get hold of you with a strange feeling of tension, as if they can't get close to you, and this could be basically hidden beneath conventional conversations. Oh, how are you today? Nice weather we're having, that sort of feeling. They feel as if they can't move forward with you, but they're making plans behind the scene. You've been given the advice of not to do anything. This relationship, I think, will develop on its own. I wouldn't push anything. Now, okay, let's go back to your initial question. Does this person find you attractive? Hugely so, because there's a tension there, and there's a sexual want, but they almost see you. I think, what's that? Not Justin Crum. He sang that on. I don't know who sang it. Who sang that Creep song originally? You know, I'm a creep, I'm a loser. I have a feeling that this person has strong feelings towards you, but feels as if you are beautiful and light and airy and giving, and they see themselves in some sort of dark, strong sexual way, and that's how they feel towards you. And they're making little steps behind the scenes to get close to you, but there's a tension there. They don't want to reveal themselves to you too much, in case that you turn around to them and say, you know, you're disgusting, you're revolting, I can see you're obsessed with me. So your advice here is stay still. I think it will develop on its own. This person isn't disgusting or revolting. This person is, you know, I don't know why they see themselves as this person that has to sit in the shadows and just sit in the shadows and just gaze at your beauty, thinking that they might not deserve it, and avert their eyes so that you don't know that you're looking at them, or pretend they haven't looked at your Instagram and pretend all this, because they're as if they're afraid to be open with you. It's shrouded in polite pleasantries, but this person actually is deep down, you know, a caring, loving person, and you will know by the way they act with everybody else. Right, so pile number 2, that's your reading for today. Your person struggles with themselves. There is a huge sexual draw to you. If you haven't had sex already, which there's definitely been some sort of physical contact, as subtle as I don't know what happened, or as strong as I don't know what happened. I don't really need to know. But there's a tension with this person. They feel as if you won't accept them because all their dark bits inside them, they will think that you won't find them attractive. And this person is probably quite passionate, and they probably perceive in you that you're quite light-hearted, you know, very kind, probably very feminine, and they feel that their passion won't sit correctly with you. Anyway, don't do anything. Keep open to this situation. Decide whether you want this person coming forward because they're making steps behind the scenes to get to you. Thank you, pile number 2. I hope that helps. Hi, pile number 2. I put your cards out. I was going to have a good nose at them before I started reading, because they're new cards and they're so beautiful. I wanted to do them justice, but I haven't got the patience, so I'm just going to go through it with you, and we'll go through it together, and then we'll stick it all together and sum it up at the end. My general feel is, I would say, if this person's attracted to you, there's an intensity and there's passion and there's a feeling of familiarity. That's just what I've picked up, just basically from flicking them over now. I'm going to go through them a card at a time, and then I'll sum them up at the end. You are coming across as a death card here. So I don't know whether this person is responsible for this, but it's almost as if you are in a process of, you can overuse the word change and transformation with a death card, but let me just say, you're in this process of movement through tension. Something in your life is making you transform in a way that has maybe been slightly painful for you, but you feel as if you're growing and you're changing and your confidence is growing. It's like a death of something in the past, and it's as if through the hardness you are basically changing into I'm going to say beautiful butterfly, but that's just off a kids' film that used to make me laugh. You're changing into something that is stronger. You're becoming more aware of yourself. Here you've got this, here I'll show you. You've got the snake bones here. So it's like a snake that sheds its skin until it rebuilds a new one, and it's becoming better each time and bigger and stronger. And you've got, there's a death here. It's not something, what you're going through at the moment has not been easy for you, but you're coming into your own. This could be to do with the relationship yet, I don't know. They are coming across as the Knight of Swords. So this person is probably very intellectual. They're probably very good at conversations. They probably read a lot. And they could be slightly cold and cutting if they needed to be. But this card to me speaks of a little bit more than that. And this cobra here, he's basically puffed out his neck. And he's ready to strike. And I don't know if you can see the mongoose here. So this person, I'm reckoning this from not looking at the cards below very much, but it's almost as if he has inside himself, he's intellectualized the relationship with you or the attraction to you, and he's generally built his confidence up, but it's just based on his mind at the moment. He's building himself up, and he's ready to strike. It's as if he has talked to himself about where he wants to go and how he sees you, and now he's ready to make a move. Right, I'm just going to go forward, carry on, and see if this makes sense as we're going along. The body language of this person is somebody who is welcoming, somebody who is, I would say, quite large. Or if they're not large, they have this sort of physical presence that appears large. They could just be, I don't know, there's just something about them that appears as if they are in control of themselves, and then they may move slowly. Although you've got the Knight of Swords here, which is normally somebody who's fast moving, I've got a funny feeling that this person may sit still quite a lot, or you may see them when they're sat still, but they have a presence of being very grounded and very in control of themselves, rather than giddy and silly and young. They've just got this sort of confidence about them. They're somebody that comes across as being very giving, very welcoming. They may be a good, I'm going to say a good hugger, but they may be somebody who is not afraid of physical contact, shaking hands as soon as they see you, or hugging you, depending what's correct. There's not that sort of, you've got the airy feeling here. Airy people don't like contact, but this person seems to be quite at home with it. You've got quite an earthy pile here at the moment. Now the eye contact, now this is very strong. Their eye contact with you is probably something that may have unnerved you. This person's not afraid of being in the physical world, and their eye contact, I think, with you has been quite penetrating and could be slightly unnerving to you. Very direct. And this person has an idea of what they want, and they're not afraid to go after it. And if he's looking at you and he finds you attractive, he doesn't really care whether you turn around and see him looking at you. You know, he wants you to see him looking at you. He's decided through his own mind that he wants to move forward with you, and that's what he's going to do. So you're coming across, this person who's interested in you is coming across as being quite grounded, quite earthy. Well, let me keep on going. Okay. The sexual tension between you two is huge, because you've got the Chariot, and this is normally depicted as two horses. And horses are normally depict your animal nature, and the man who has the horses, not so much in this card, is trying to control them both. So this person and the tension between you, the sexual tension is strong. I've got a funny feeling that your encounters with this person have been based, I've only from these cards that I've read so far, on sexual tension and a lot of staring, rather than conversations or verbal exchange. There's a wild feeling. It's almost as if the tension is a little bit too much, you know, with the horses, and the fact it's like your base instincts. It's almost as if, to me, picking up from this, there is strong sexual tension here. The gaze with the wildness of the horses in the sex position is, to me, is quite strong. So yeah, I think this person is interested in you, and if he or she is earthy, they're interested in you in a sexual way. I'll pick this all the way through. Actually, I can see the cards under here. But your physical contact here has come up as the Tower. So either this is a shocker. So either you have already had physical contact with this person, and quite a lot of physical contact with this person, rather than just, okay. It's one of two. Either you have had sex with this person and that it has taken you both aback, or you have had some slight contact with somebody and it's shocked you. You know, when you touch somebody or you brush past somebody and it's basically, you can feel the tension, because there is definitely sexual tension here. It could be either. This is the Tower card. Everything that these birds have built upon, their home in the tree has just, the tree's on fire, it's fallen apart. So this can know the babies are here. So it's the physical contact and the sexual tension between you two, I think, is overwhelming. How this person treats others. Now this person has come up as the Knight of Swords here, which is quite cool. So you've got this cool mixed with this earthiness, and then how they treat others, you've got the Emperor. So if I put these two together, you've got the Knight of Swords, which is cold, and the speech can be quite snipped or cut or direct, and the Emperor has this sort of, you can see, look at his face, has this sort of image of being, he's this very paternal, he's very good at looking after people, but it's almost in an austere fashion. Austere, I don't know. It's almost as if he's a little bit lording above people, but depending on his position in work or his position in the family. You know, it could be just generally accepted, as in that's just the way he is and he gets the job done and we all accept it. Because it can be a little bit sort of overbearing at times. So this person may come across as quite controlling to you and to others. So others definitely, sorry, that was for others. So they may come across as quite controlling to others. They may be in a position of authority where the other people have to go to them and ask them questions and ask for their help, and they love it. They basically love departing their knowledge, and they love being in a position where they're needed and they feel as if they have control. There's a strong feeling of control and earthiness and structure here, which with if this person has basically, if this person this person likes to feel controlled. They like to feel controlled in their speech and their position in life. Now, the sexual tension being here represented by the Tower, and you've got the Chariot here, you have probably quite upset this person's sense of decorum and sense of how they should be in everyday life. They're probably very earthy and very at home with sex, but I've got a funny feeling they've got a little bit more than they bargained for with you, and you're quite enjoying it. It's almost as if you could possibly be having almost like a sexual awakening. You've got the Death card here, and the fact that sex is depicted so strongly in this pile that you could almost be enjoying this awakening within yourself. I mean, this might not be your first partner, it could be your second partner or something or other where you have not felt this sexual tension before. Right, how does the conversation flow? You've got the World here, and to me, I don't even want to read the card as the World, because to me this is conversation flow. It's going round and round, and it's got a rhythm, it's got a cycle, it's just a natural cycle. So your conversational exchange is beautiful. I would think that it flows, it's easy, there's no tension in that, on that front in here. It's just basically sex. Are they nervous around you? Don't get the feeling they're nervous around you. I just get a feeling that they're excited, the fact that they found somebody that they feel they can move forward with. Now, are they interested in you? The last two piles, take it or leave it, not sure. Your pile, hugely interested in you, and it's definitely a physical attraction. Strong physical attraction here, and your I'll show you a card here. So you've got the answer to that question is the Ace of Wands. So it's just a big rod in the air. So no, I didn't need to say anything there. There's a huge sexual pull towards you. Your advice is the Six of Cups. So your advice is the Six of Cups is, I can't read that because I'm half blind. It basically is the meeting in the waterhole. These two hippos have come together. It's water, it's emotions. There's like the lotus flower opening. So it's like, it's the awareness of each other. It's like a deeper awareness of each other, and you feel right together. And it's just, you know, you're meeting in the waterhole together, wherever you are. Could be your waterhole, could be the office, it could be school, it could be your house, I don't know. And it feels right. So that your advice is to basically carry on the way you've been carrying on, because this person picks up the fact that you feel so comfortable together. Your conversation flows. When you get together, it just feels right. So I'm going to sum you up here. Whether your question was, are they interested in you? Huge yes. They are so interested in you, and it's a feeling of familiarity. With you, it's making a bit of a life change for you. It's something that's almost waking you up in some way, but the sexual tension is huge, and this person's not scared of sex. This person is quite at home in their sexuality, and they're not afraid to offer it to you. They seem to be very much, they like the role of being in charge. And I wonder whether this person is the person that's actually causing the change in you at this time in your life. It is if you've met somebody that feels like home, you can talk to them, you feel close to them. But I think the change in you is the is the physical attraction that they feel for you and vice versa. This person, I think, is coming towards you. This cobra here representing them is puffed out neck. It's almost like he's ready to strike. Are they interested in you? You've got Ace of Wands, new physical beginnings. This woman is physical. And the Six of Cups. For your advice is just keep on going like you have been going, because they feel it, you feel it, that there is this familiarity between you. And that's, you know, it's like love, which is, to be honest, you haven't got many cup cards here. This is your only one. Yes. So this attraction, this person to you is physical, but you almost feel that emotional bond here, and that's how you need to move forward. You probably need to bring a bit more emotion into this rather than just that sexual pull. I do wonder, it would be really interesting to know, if you ever want to leave a comment, whether this person comes across, because these two cards intrigue me, whether this person comes across as cool and controlled. You know, he's ready to strike here. His gaze is penetrating, and he comes across as the Emperor. So this is somebody very much in charge of themselves, somebody who's not afraid to look at you and be caught locking. They know what they want, and it's almost as if this direct approach is causing the tension. Right, pile 3. I'm going to finish there. If this rings true in any way, especially these cards here, and the whole sex pull, please let me know. I'm so nosy. And thank you for watching. Bye.